Hi.
Nice to meet you all. How's it going?
Nice to meet you. Well, hi. I'm Angel. I'm a Vertical reviewer. I've been watching Vertical since 2023. I've seen over 2,500 of them. My brain kind of went out. Hold on. And I kind of do interviews for fun and learn more about people.
I'm Dalia. I live in Miami, Florida. I'm also a reviewer. I call myself more of a critic because I do both positive and negative reviews if necessary. I've seen about 1,700 verticals to date, and I've been watching since May of 2024.
Nice.
Nice.
Lovely. Ben Pengilly here, CEO and founder of Onset Octopus, the first and arguably the best microdrama platform in the UK and Europe. So we were actually the first to ever produce a microdrama in the UK. We started from March 2024. And as you know, since then, it's exploded everywhere, all over the UK, all over the world. And we're just really happy to be involved and be a pioneer of the scene and just, watching it shape and be involved in, shaping that as it all progresses. Yeah.
Nice.
And hi, nice to meet you also. I'm Liyanne Marie. I'm a casting director and I'm the head of casting over at Onset Octopus. So all the actors that you see in any of our microdramas, I'm responsible for finding the talent and bringing those casts to screen for you all. And yes, as I said, we've been doing it since 2024, but I've been a casting director for many, many years now.
Nice.
You want to ask the first question, Dalia?
Well, I mean, you answered one of my questions, which was how long have you been producing verticals? Was Virgin's Addiction your first or Saving Nora?
No, actually. So the first was Mafia Lover. That was that was actually for Drama Box.
Or was it Mafia Obsession, the first one, and then Mafia Lover?
No, technically, Mafia Obsession went live onto the scene and the platforms first, but Mafia Lover was actually the first one that we filmed because that was done through a subsidiary company which has since closed down. And yeah, they were going to make their own app, and then they didn't. They kind of sat on it for a while, but they had ties with Drama Box, which they then sold to later on, and that's actually how we ended up getting involved in the scene, working with Drama Box, and and then that kind of went live from there. But yeah, Mafia Obsession was the first one that went live, but it wasn't the first one that we worked on. As you know, that went viral. I think it hit must have been 30 million in the first couple months, which is strong. You still get fan pages now. I'm seeing fan pages begging for a season 2. So Drama Box, if you're watching, let's make a season 2.
Well, I think that with that one, it was one of the first boy love ones. Right? It was one of the first that came out, and I think that the community latched onto it. So I personally just watched it last night. So I watched a couple of yours last night just to kind of, I had seen some, not seen some, so I tried to binge a couple so that I speak a little bit more intelligently about it. But I can see where they would latch onto it because it was the first.
Yeah, no, definitely got a strong response, definitely. I mean, I still think it's pretty cool, to be fair. When we were watching back on the trailers from set the other day, we just wrapped on a job for Real Short about a couple of days ago. And I was just like, yeah, it's cool. Cool idea. I can understand why it had the fan base that it did,
Absolutely.
Are you guys the only production company in the UK?
So since starting out, obviously because it's so new overall, but it's definitely new in the UK. There's still some people that don't know what micro dramas are. Obviously with the press releases and all the conferences we do, that is changing, but still a lot of people they don't know. You say, oh, I'm working on a vertical or I'm working on a micro drama. They're just like, oh, what's that? So it's still quite new, but as I said earlier, it's definitely evolving. But to answer your question, there's probably about 4 to 5, I'd say at the moment, but we are the only one that has English British producers part of the team. A a lot of the other producers there, you know, they're from China, and they've kind of come over, you know, and set up in that sense. But yeah, definitely the only British producer at the moment, I think, which is, yeah, kind of cool, I guess.
That's very cool. How many projects do you have coming up? Like, are you working on different ones or that you can talk about? I know there's
there's always something in the pipeline. You know, there's Content London next week that me and Liyanne are going to go and head up and just try and, you know, push out, market, all this kind of stuff. I had a really nice meeting with Good Short about a couple hours ago. So hopefully some, you know, that'll be great.
We just wrapped one on Monday, right?
Yeah. We just wrapped one for Real Short. No, we're sorry. Yeah, for Real Short. And yeah, that went really well. Client's super happy. So looking into getting into post-production on that one. So yeah.
Nice. I had heard about Content London. I read a little bit about it because I think that there's a content conference coming to Miami as well.
Oh.
I think there's a Miami one. And I was going to attend just for curiosity. I have a day job. This I do more for fun, but the more I immerse myself in verticals and the production part of verticals, and just it's so interesting to me. Like, I'd love to see how processes work. So I just, you know, I ask questions and I get involved in like the nitty gritty part, not even the fan part. You know what I mean? It's not just about the actors for me. It's about the process of how to do everything. Like I'm a global sales manager for a CPG brand. So I think, how can that brand be put into verticals? Like the whole branding part of it, when it comes to producers really getting money, it's very interesting to me. So it's always cool to see how the mousetrap works, right?
Yeah. It's actually really interesting you say that, because, you know, at the moment, you know, for the past, like, I don't know, 5 years, commercials have been slowly starting to go vertical, right? But still not completely. And I spoke to a client who was just like, "Oh, you've done your micro dramas," and I was like, "Yeah." And he was just like, "He's a commercial client. There's nothing to do with the micro dramas," but he was like, "You know, it's interesting that how we could maybe merge commercial work with the kind of aesthetic and the high, you know, speed addiction, phone addiction of the micro dramas." You know, I think it's just a matter of time, if I'm perfectly honest, until commercial brands start to, you know, jump on in that sense.
Well, you see, Real Short does the like the Sheen. I don't know if you've ever seen some of their productions that they like insert Sheen, I guess, call outs.
Yeah.
And that's kind of something that I was thinking about, like brands in the background, or interacting with a brand, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. That I mean, it is only a matter of time. I mean, our TV shows now, or conventional TV shows, do that all the time. You see someone picking up a brand, and, you know, they're like, "Oh, hold on, I need to take a pill," and it just so happens that you can, like, see the label. You know what I mean? It's I really do think it's a matter of time for that, and I'd love to be on the ground floor of that, because I think that the more, I mean, I've been in this industry for 35 years, and I know so many CPG brands that would jump on board for that. So if I could be like a consultant and say, "Hey, I can get you 4 or 5 brands," you know what I mean? It's like not crowdfunding, but it's like getting money put into the shows. Really increases your budget.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
That sounds so good.
Definitely.
This is why I bring her along.
Yeah. This is great.
She thinks about all the other questions that I could never think about.
She's coming from a whole other angle, isn't she? Right. Yeah.
So, Liyanne, how have you seen, like, casting and the whole, I guess, people that you have to look through change since the beginning of Verticals to?
Yeah, I mean, stepping into the vertical drama world, coming from more of a commercial film, TV background, it was quite interesting in the beginning, like when I kind of first come on board with Onset, because, you know, the acting, you know, is really important, but obviously there is a demand for, like, the look of the actors as well, and so that was quite interesting at first when I first started casting them, and then I discovered that there was a whole kind of world of actors that had already known about this space before I even had. So you know, there was some actors that we've had involved in some of the productions that we've done, and they'd already kind of knew about the vertical drama world or micro drama world because they'd seen the content, and I was like, I haven't seen any of this content. Like, so I had to start doing my own research and then realize even the demand from a casting perspective is very different to say, like, you know, something that I do in commercial or film and TV, and like the audiences, you know, they really want characters and cast members that they can like really delve in deep to and relate to, and they're really like emotionally like quick on camera and things like that. So I've learned quite a lot, I think, over the last like couple of years. It's been quite an interesting journey for me as casting because the demand of it from clients and audiences are quite different. And these microdrama actors, they become like mini stars, like little mini Hollywood stars. It's like their own, it's like it's a whole new world, and it's like their own little, you know, star world. And some of them are just doing so well. So from a casting director, it makes me so happy that I'm seeing actors that are working more consistently than they would have, you know, in an industry that's been a little bit tough for a lot of people across actors and crew and production. So now this kind of content is giving a lot of opportunity for work. So it's yeah, it's really interesting. I had quite a lot of resistance in the beginning, I will say, from like UK talent actors and agents, because they didn't know what this was. And they'd then seen some of the content and wasn't kind of too keen on putting their actors forward at first, because there was like, you know, quite a bit of intimacy or slaps and, you know, violence and certain themes. So yeah, we kind of worked really hard in the beginning and working with client, director, producer, you know, making sure scripts were kind of really like open and transparent, diluted where needed, localized, you know, where needed as well, so that we can get some good actors on board. And now I have a lot of actors emailing me all the time saying, you know, I want to be, you know, considered for any that you're casting. And so now the pool is getting bigger, and the demand for the actors are kind of growing as well. So it's making it a little bit more easier for me because people are wanting to be involved in these now. And social media has been great as well, because a lot of the actors that have done some of these already or just done them and played leads, they then have this huge following on Instagram, so, and all these wonderful fans. So yeah, it's been a good journey, but I'm still learning, but giving some actors some great opportunities, lead roles that they may never have been a part of before.
Yeah.
Do you find it that you feel like your production company wants to stay with people from Europe, or are you looking to also bring in like American actors or even from Asia or Australia? I mean, as far as how do you focus on what type of or where the actor's from? Really, does it matter?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on obviously where we're filming, but one that we recently filmed that, I mean, it's in post-production, so we can't really speak about, but you know, two of the actors from that one, they were from LA. So I sourced talent in LA for that, and some talent in, you know, a European country, and some talent in UK. So I think for us as a production company, we want to evolve this so that you know, it becomes more diverse, it becomes more inclusive, and that we are casting internationally, we are doing productions internationally. So yeah, I think that's where we would like to evolve it, 100%.
Nice. Okay. I know that Australian verticals tend to have a lot more of the Aussies. They're you know, focused a little bit more on the country and bringing the country to light. So
Yeah,
I was asking about that, not necessarily because of what country they're from or whatever, but I didn't know if, like, there's in Canada, there's tax breaks that you get for hiring Canadians.
yes, yeah, of course.
Your stories, right? We know a lot of the stories like are derived from like the China stories. Are they mostly based off of China stories, or like have you guys created your own?
So I mean, we have been asked to like supply scripts and stuff in the past. We definitely have like a head of writing and writing team in house on Onset Octopus, which is good. Shout out to Emma Wang. She's right now, but yeah, she's like really talented script writer that's part of our team. And just helps out in regards to that. But mostly the scripts come from the platforms that are it's fully complete and stuff. We do offer localization, of course. We do that as well to support the script process, but mostly creatively it's it's done their side. In the next 12 months, potentially be moving into hopefully making our own content. If certain investments come in, and original content that we can then sell to the platforms and distribute to the other platforms. That's becoming a bit more common, that platforms are getting in touch and saying like, oh, by the way, can you make some original content so we can buy it off you? So that's really interesting. Yeah, so that'll be hopefully happening more over the next 12 months. Yeah.
Okay. So you say that you're obviously the first and the best.
Yes.
Danny Farber was just there for a month. Was he working on one of your verticals?
So
No.
he's director.
Yeah, but was he on our?
He was with Good Short, and they were working on so their shoot was actually shooting alongside our one, and actually at some of the locations, because I was speaking to their commissioner and just being like, oh, you're shooting at this location and this and that. But yeah, shout out to Danny. Love to work with him in the future. Hopefully we can collaborate at some point. Would be really love his work. But I think it was just a clash of availability and whatnot. But we've got Dan Lowenstein, who's part of our team. Really strong director as well. To be fair, he's actually
very strong.
Yeah, he's done some shoots in Canada as well and the UK. So he's he was on the first director that we worked with and that I kind of brought into the vertical scene. And just since then he's obviously doing very, very well. So yeah, this strong
he's done
team.
He's done how many for you? 3, 4?
No. He's done like at least 14 for me, I think. Yeah.
Oh well, okay.
He's busy. A busy boy.
He's busy, booked and busy.
Yeah, he is. It started out when he did a couple for us, and then another production company was like, "Oh, do you know any directors?" And annoyingly enough, I said, "Yeah, this guy's great," and I'm really kicking myself because since then he's become super busy. And it's quite hard to what directors are like, availability and whatnot. It can be but no, it's all good. It's all love.
That's good.
Yeah. Keep him. Like, director.
Have to. Business is business. But yeah, no. All jokes aside, I'm very happy with his growth and everything, and so yeah, it's all good.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah.
So I know that like they film everywhere, right? Obviously, but like specifically in the UK, are you guys more in like the bigger cities, or do you guys sometimes get the chance to go out into the country?
So it's interesting you say that. So basically we can go anywhere really, we've got loads of different landscapes in the UK. It's not just you've got urban landscapes, you've got your more like rural landscapes, more kind of classical old historical landscapes that I know people across the pond really like. Pride and Prejudice, that kind of stuff. That was not shot in London, that was nowhere near the city. We had to travel out in the sticks, out to the countryside to film that, getting hold of these really big really old mansions and manors. These places are like, I don't know, like 500 years old or something. I'm not a historian, but I imagine they're quite old. So yeah, that's really cool. And then we've shot by the coast as well. Mafia Obsession, we had to film by the coast because that's what the client wanted, so that's what we gave them. That was actually quite fun. They said we need a house that looks exactly onto the sea and it has to be nice. And obviously, I don't know if you know, but the sea areas near the UK, they're not amazing, but we found like a really nice place that worked aesthetically for what was needed. So yeah, we've got it all over here, which is good.
So you don't have or do you have the same like Actors Guild group that we have here, or is it the same one, or do you have difficulty casting sometimes because of it?
We do have like Actors Guild. Well, we have like
equity,
kind of like equity, so would be quite similar. So, you know, obviously most of these are like non-equity, then they're not kind of you know, whereas I know like in the States and stuff, you'll have actors like under SAG and stuff that won't be put forward for like some jobs if they're not we're not kind of at that stage with these yet, because they're not kind of regulated under anything for actors. So for me, it's always just being just open and transparent that this, you know, this is what it is. So if you want to, you know, be considered for them, you can, and if you don't, then you don't have to. But at the moment, equity are not involved at the moment.
Yeah,
that may change.
This is a big deal here, so you know sometimes it'll be like this is a non-union, this is union. You know what I mean? It's
yeah, exactly. I mean,
I can only imagine the headache that they go through.
Yeah, it's similar here. I think it's more kind of demanding in like the film and the commercial world at the moment. It hasn't affected the microdrama kind of vertical world yet.
I think overall, you know, like compared to the States, the UK unions are a lot weaker than in America, which is, to be fair, from a production point of view, it's good, right? But yeah, like Liyanne said, it's all about being transparent and fair, fair hours, fair pay, that kind of thing. You know, it's what we stand for that over here. So yeah,
very cool.
Definitely.
So obviously, you guys want all of your projects to get like attention, but is there like a specific one that you've like both have, if they're different, that you wanted to get more attention that hasn't?
I can say there's a project that's going to be launching, I'm pretty sure either this week or next week. It's the one for Real Short. That's an interactive one. Actually, yeah, I think an interactive one. And that could be really good to get some attention to it. But also, yeah, maybe previously, I guess maybe some of the ones for Drama Box. I think, you know, there's the Virgin's Addiction, which was cool, but I feel like it was maybe a tiny bit on the misogynistic side, and it didn't get that many views. But it was still, you know, it had some really cool moments. You know, we did like a rain machine scene that was really cool. So I'd like aesthetically it was interesting, but I think, I think maybe it didn't have as many views as it did. But yeah, that was quite an interesting one to shoot for sure.
Notice that some of the projects that you have on Drama Box don't show up right away. Like obviously because they're a little bit older. Maybe a resurgence in advertising or showing up behind the scenes stuff. That I noticed that a lot of productions that show BTS, they show things with the actors, like interviews with the actors, tend to almost get a resurgence in the projects. And I was curious because obviously Virgin's Addiction to Pride and Prejudice, I you know, budget size, how much pre-production, how much, you know, did you interact with the actors? They almost have like their own different style, where one is a little bit campier than the other, and Pride and Prejudice is a little more cinematic, obviously, based on location and you know, the look, the costumes, everything is a little bit more cinematic. And like the differences in those two projects, let's say specifically, rather than pick, you know, some of the other ones are generic, between Virgin's Addiction and Pride and Prejudice. Is there a specific amount of time that happened? Was the budget bigger? I don't know if you can share a little bit about that.
Prep time was maybe a bit longer on Pride and Prejudice, but not hugely. I think it's more just the aesthetic that maybe they were after at the time. Obviously, they're two different platforms, two different scripts, two different writers, so perhaps that was the thing. I can't really discuss anything financial, unfortunately.
No, I mean, I just meant like as far as it's a bigger production. Obviously, Pride and Prejudice had a lot more cinematic, so I assume it was a bigger production, hence bigger budget, blah blah blah. But you don't have to, I don't mean to ask details.
That's okay.
I think you're right though, and the BTS stuff is really valid, like for us to hear that and stuff, because I don't think that they're the things that we really focused on in the beginning as a production company as such. But we noticed that actually does do well when people do the BTS and the interviews and stuff like that. So like you're saying, you know, we may be able to start pulling out some of the you know, the BTS that happened on some of the productions, and kind of start relive them a little bit so that it can kind of get the trend going, or the direction going. But I think when we first were doing this, and because, as you know, as Ben said, because we were the first to do it here in the UK, we were like, there was no one else to kind of know what else was, like, how to kind of not copy and paste, but we just were like trying to do a really good job here in the UK, you know, trying to get actors and crew involved, and teaching people as we were going and we were learning as well. So I think the BTS, I think that's definitely like what, like, other maybe platforms or production companies have done a little bit better than what we've done, but we've seen that, so we are kind of focusing on that more as well now, and
100%.
maybe we'll be getting some of the old BTS stuff out so that it can
you'll
up.
see over the next couple weeks, months, the socials are going to be popping a lot more now on the Instagram. So
I just see a lot of the 2024 products, not necessarily yours, I'm saying in general. The platforms are focusing a little bit more on the popularity of the ones from 2024 to hook people, because obviously 2024 was a very big hook for a lot of fans.
The
content that was then is what hooked them. So sometimes the resurgence can be as a result of capturing new viewers on proven projects. Hence giving you a little bit more visibility. And even the platforms sometimes they pick and choose what they advertise. And I mean, there's no rhyme or reason. There are some productions that Real Short has that, I mean, you could search for ages and you'll never find it. And there's some that are always going to be front of page. And I don't know if that's a result of their preference or, you know, just at the moment. I mean, you'll find some of the 2023 and 2024 dramas on their front page.
Of course.
You know what I mean? It's one of those things that you could pick up the phone and say, hey, let's do an ad on this, you know, and pennies, but really
can I ask
more fans?
I was about to say, can I ask you both as fans? I mean, I'm very impressed by the amount that you've watched between you. It's very impressive. Do you like seeing that? Do you like seeing like BTS? Do you like kind of seeing content like that?
Oh yeah, hyping a show is always better. Hyping a show is always better.
Nice.
Okay, great. That's really, really good for us to know as well.
BTS, I think one production did like bloopers, which was great.
All the outtakes, eh?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Well, those are fun, especially when you catch someone off guard and you in the middle of a laugh, and I mean, sometimes it can really produce some of the funnest content that people love to be able to latch on to their preferred actors that way, because it makes them more real. I think.
If your actors have like a fan page, then the fan pages have that extra like pictures and footage that they can then share and be like, hey, like, this is behind the scenes from Sean's Vertical, I don't know, whatever it would be titled.
No, that's really good to know.
Especially the boiler ones that are, I mean, the surge and popularity of them it's baffling. You know, sometimes you see like a trend going and it'll be, and I'm not even talking about like the Chinese stories. I'm talking about the trend of a couple of period pieces with dragons and everything came out. But the boiler ones, the minute it started, it just skyrocketed, and they're very popular. So even to reintroduce the actors that were in them, I think would be phenomenal.
Okay.
True. I mean, the two cast of Mafia, Mafia Obsession, that they got like hounded on the socials by all these fans getting in touch. I mean, we're definitely going to start pushing that out a lot more. And Opus is a really.
I mean, I loved it. I watched it last night.
Yeah. I think I was told that our Mr. Darcy in Pride and Prejudice, Conan, I think there was a fan that got a tattoo of him.
Wow.
Wow.
I was like, wow.
Promotion at its finest.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really popular.
Yeah.
Really, he is really
I mean,
popular.
he's gone on and done, like, I think he's doing quite a lot at the moment. I know he's just, I think he's just filmed one as well, and he was filming, I think, in China as well recently. So, you know, I think, and Pride and Prejudice was his first one that he'd ever done, and I think it's just escalated him in that scene now, which is great.
Oh, so Mafia Lover was after Pride and Prejudice?
Sorry?
Mafia Lover was after Pride and Prejudice?
No, so Conan wasn't in Mafia Lover. He was Mr. Darcy in just Pride and Prejudice. He wasn't in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't in it, Conan.
I guess,
oh no, he was Conan.
He was
He was the background. He was one of the bodyguards.
He was.
Yeah.
That was his first one. That was his first one.
But in regards to a lead, he wasn't a lead. That's what got him known. He's got him known.
Because I saw him and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Conan, that was his first one. Yeah, and then we got him in the lead as Mr. Darcy.
But I guess that goes to show, you know, how loyal we are with cast, right? You know, we have someone as a sub lead, and next thing you know, we're putting them as a lead and giving them a chance to, you know, really shine as an actor and everything. Just
I mean, I even reached out to like Bridgerton. I was like, you need to get this guy because he was perfect. He was perfect, really.
Yeah.
And Jasmine was fantastic too.
Yeah, Jasmine
was fantastic too.
She's brilliant.
Connor was it. I mean, he legit.
That was good casting.
About the Pride and Prejudice, actually try and get that more people to review. That'd be cool. Yeah.
I can republish mine too. I did it almost right away.
Oh, that would be great.
Right. Yeah. So
I can publish mine.
Yeah.
I'm a little behind on reviews.
Give us a shout out as well.
Yeah, please give us a shout out.
I will. I'll republish it for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I'm sure the cast will be very happy with that as well. So
definitely
push them out as much as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, all it takes is, you know, one to hit, one to like really, even one review. There are some that like she's watched that like she's reviewed that I've been on like the edge about. So like, I want to, but I don't know if I like want to. And then like I'll read her reviews and I'll be like, okay, we can.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
I try.
So can I ask you guys, how many apps do you have between you?
Oh man. I did this math. I have 41 apps.
Did you hear my sister laugh?
That's crazy.
I have 41 apps, but I don't have subscriptions on all of them right away. Like I have 16 annual subscriptions.
Wow.
I have
very impressed.
Six weekly or monthly subscriptions. And then I have an additional 15 that I'll turn on and off.
I mean, Angel's still counting.
Well, I was just in LA doing an interview with a company that happened to ask me this, so I happen to have these.
I don't knew it already. Okay.
I have it like separated on my iPad, so I know exactly which ones are what. But I
have 71 vertical drama apps on my phone.
Wow.
71. That is impressive.
That's the fan base right there.
That is a fan base. That is very impressive. Love it. Wow. Wow.
Well, because I had like at one point I had 86, and then I went to LA, and I ran out of room because I was trying to take pictures of everything. And so I was like, okay, I don't really use this one. I don't really use this one. This one just has like, taken from other apps. So I like started deleting them. So by the time I got back here on October 1st, I had 24 apps.
Right.
Nice.
Now I'm back up to 71.
Impressive.
Don't shake your head at me, Dalia. By the way.
Do you have if you don't want to divulge it, that's fine. But do you have a favorite project that you have worked on, even if it's one that's coming up?
You know what? not just because it did very well, but I think maybe because it was one of the earlier projects and it was a mixture of challenges, and also just because I kind of liked the kind of content of it, and it was interesting, and the cast have been great on all these projects, right? But I'd probably say, everyone's going to think I'm going to say Pride and Prejudice, but I'm not. I'm going to say Mafia Obsession. I thought that was, I don't know, I thought it was just fun. Like, it was, as a producer, I like a challenge always. So like, but it had its challenges. The fact that it was a BL story, which is harder to cast and everything. I don't know. Yeah, I thought the mafia things were fun, like the shootouts and all that. That's what's cool, isn't it? Like, and all I thought the aesthetics were good. The boxing scene. I thought it looked cool. I'm not surprised at all that it went viral, if I'm perfectly honest. I feel like it's got so many good scenes and moments in there. A lot of dynamic scenes and dynamic setups, which also, from not just an audience point of view, from a production point of view, is more fun. As a producer, you don't just want to be doing, the CEO's wife all the time. See what I mean? You need to mix up a bit. Although I've got time for the CEO's wife, all the time. If the platforms want to throw us that kind of aspect, but like, it's more fun to do kind of actiony type stuff, as any producer will tell you. Yeah.
I actually loved that he had it kind of set up from the beginning. I mean, I love that. I really, if you think about like what he went through in his head to like set it up so that it would fall, all the pieces would fall just as he took control, took control of the family, really.
Yeah.
And be able to finagle the marriage. I mean, that was brilliant. It was brilliant storytelling, really.
Yeah, the writing was really strong on that one, for sure.
Very different than the usual CEO.
Yeah.
Even the usual BL ones,
Yeah.
It was a very different story.
Yeah, it was good, for sure.
So, another casting, I guess, like, question. So, as someone who watches them quite frequently, I think Dalia can agree. We see new people like every day, and I know that new people in the States are always coming. Do you get a lot of new faces every time that you try and pick a cast, or is it basically like the same faces?
I think when I first started, it was always like fresh new faces. I think that's still the case, but I also think there's been a couple that, like, you saw Conan used, and like 2 of the LA actors that we just recently cast, they were in quite a few of the very popular ones. So I think it depends on which one it is, and what kind of what the role or characters are. And if we know there's an actor out there that's like already done well in a kind of similar role, or is viral, or has a massive fan base, and would suit that role, then I definitely kind of have them in mind as well and consider. I'm always looking at new clients as well, new talent as well for the clients. So because there's so many of these that are being kind of produced, obviously we're doing them, but there's so many that are being produced across the world right now. So I think it's always great to see fresh new faces. But at the same time, if there's like a couple of actors that are like do really, really well and they can be seen in other roles, then I'm always happy to kind of bring them in as well. So yeah, it depends on what the demand is, I think, as well. Yeah.
Very cool.
I'm having to always do my research and see who's trending right now in that vertical space.
You look at
Sorry?
Do you look at their socials?
Yeah. I will look at their socials, but that isn't always like make or break either for confirming someone or selecting someone for a job. But I have kind of worked really hard. I work really closely with like the agents and actors here in the UK now as well. Because I think what we do very different here, which the US have an advantage of us over, especially our actors, is they market themselves very well. Like they are very, there's like that kind of like, if we ask for a self-tape here, it could be like, don't do it LA style or something, which is very aesthetic, very like, full makeup or hair done. Whereas UK, we kind of a little bit more sometimes like more natural, you know, and I'm trying to kind of show some of the UK actors and agents that that's not going to work if you want to cast for verticals. You know, I need to see that polished, good look, hair combed, you know. So that's the only thing that's slightly kind of evolving for us here in the UK, which is probably different than in the States, because I feel like the actors that are in the States, they just know how to show up on camera. Whereas here it takes a little bit more. We kind of put the acting first rather than the aesthetic look or the marketing or social media brands, some in some areas for some actors. So
I actually did a we were at the LA Vertical market last September, was it? Last September, and some of the producers and directors talked about the aesthetic that you're talking about and how it's very similar to like a telenovela, like the Spanish telenovelas, where if you can tell someone's aesthetic and acting without volume, they're the ones that are going to jump on camera. You know what I mean? Jump on the screen.
Yeah.
So it's interesting you say that, because yes, while acting is really great, it is that aesthetic that you know, pushes someone into your face and you go, oh, they've got the look.
Yeah, which is kind of like when I first started, it was kind of me understanding from even a casting director's point of view. You know, it's easy for people to say, oh, we just want like model looking. And I'm like, but the majority of people that model here don't necessarily act. So then you've got models, but then they can't act. And then there is also a need for you to be able to deliver some good acting, because what we're demanding of you on a screen that's like kind of so intense and emotionally driven, you know, and quick, fast-paced hits, a model may not be able to do that at times, right, in this space. So it's been a real, you know, I'm continuing to do a lot of work here in the UK. I go to a lot of like workshops with the agents, the head of casting, which is Spotlight, which is our massive database. I work a lot with them so that more of our actors can understand what the demands are, so that they can show up better when they're doing their tapes, so they can book more of these jobs, because there's that aesthetic look, and that's why the resistance from people here was quite difficult at first for me, because they were like, they didn't invest in that first. It was and I was like, no, because the main things with these are your presence is first. Like how you just appear on that screen is what is going to draw the audiences, and how you kind of look, or your emotion or your reactions. I need to see that, and then your look, your aesthetic look. So it's been it's still a journey here in the UK, because we have slightly different thoughts on that. So but yeah, I think the actors are getting better, and hopefully from the cast that you're seeing that we're bringing on, we're kind of ticking some of those boxes with some of the UK talent here, and then it's making the other UK actors now go, oh right, I've seen Jasmine in this, like, oh, she looks great. Like now when I go on my tape, I need to make sure I've got my hair done, my makeup, like, you know, rather than just like, just woke up in the morning, I'm going to do a natural tape. It's like, it's not going to work. Yeah.
Interesting.
So we touched base about like how you got into the like vertical world, but what kind of inspired you, Ben, to start Onset Octopus? Like what made you be like, I want to do a production company?
So I've been producing for 15 years. So like, you know, started as a runner, worked my way up, etc. Onset Octopus has been going since 2021, I'm pretty sure, 2021. So we've done music videos, commercials, you know, features, that kind of stuff. And yeah, I kind of saw that micro dramas were probably, I've always thought the next thing is to view content on your phone. Phone addiction is a thing. What do people like doing? Going on your phone. What do people also like doing? Watching dramas. Oh, I know. Like, do you know what I mean? So I'm as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, this is the place to kind of get towards. So I kind of moved towards that narrative a bit more. And also, you know, it was during a time when the UK industry wasn't doing so good. I mean, it's still not doing so good, if I'm honest. so it actually came at the perfect time, you know, a time to really just kind of, you know, jump into it and invest and focus on that kind of thing. So yeah.
Interesting. How many verticals have you guys watched?
Nowhere near as many as you.
Nowhere near as many.
It's not a competition. I'm asking really for a reason. Do you only watch the ones that you produce, or do you watch others?
No.
I watched a couple of the alpha ones. That was cool. I can't remember. But then since then, we've just been so busy. I've not really found the time to really, you know, watch a full season myself. But yeah, of course, I watch the ones that we produce. Yeah, I like the alpha ones. That was kind of cool. But yeah, hopefully I can find more time to watch more, because I do really like the content and everything. So yeah.
Well, and for research, really.
Of course.
You work with others, especially with companies like DramaBox and Real Short and Good Short. They are leaders in this, and they have a lot of content.
A lot. No, they do. They do.
I was just curious.
I don't know if we'd have the time in between doing all the I don't know. I haven't watched a whole full. I don't think I've ever. Maybe Pride and Prejudice, actually. Mafia. I think I've probably watched all of our ones, but I've probably only watched snippets of other ones because I'm looking for cast. And I'm probably like, I want instant, so I can't. I don't want to wait till build-ups, episodes and episodes and episodes. I just need to see what I need to see, and then I'm like, okay, great, make a note of that person. So yeah,
you can ask too.
I'm a typical casting director. You'll have to give me some of your top tips and send me a little list of definitely ones that I should be tapping into and having a look at, like who your favorite characters are and actors are.
Absolutely.
I'll receive that.
I think we can do that. Just don't ask us to pick a top favorite, because.
Oh, okay. Is that going to be too difficult? Have you got a few? Right. Okay. Well, that means we're all out here doing our job well then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely are. And if you want to reach out to us, we are a group of 10 that we all review.
Oh, that's brilliant.
We all review together, not as a group. Every once in a while, we'll put out a review with all of our words.
Yeah.
But all 10 of us review, and we were like Vertical View Crew is really what we call ourselves. And I mean, really, we have changed a platform's mind on how much they advertise an item based on our reviews.
Wow.
Nice.
That's interesting.
Among us, I think we've watched 15,000 verticals.
Yes.
Yeah, we've all watched so many.
So impressive. I'm But I hope that one day, cool. Ben, we can sit here and say, oh yeah, we produced 15,000.
Yeah. Help us get to that number.
Help us get to that. That's going to be the next conversation. Yeah, we're 10,000 in at the moment.
That'd be great.
Cool, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And with all the review page, we all have our different likes and dislikes and opinions.
Of course.
I could love, for example, not saying that she doesn't, but she could love Pride and Prejudice and I'm not a huge fan. Or I could love Mafia Obsession and she'd be like, it's not my thing. And it's a good thing with the group. It's we all have our different voices, but we can sometimes come together and be like, this was a really good one.
Yeah. I think for me, what I've also learned, even from speaking with you guys and some of the other fan pages and stuff, we do have a real responsibility. Because I suppose when I first got into this, I didn't even understand or appreciate the kind of the fans that was out there, the demand for it. And as I've been casting them more and more, I feel a sense of responsibility to kind of get cast right. And I'm sure Ben feels the same, that we produce these right, because this is escapism for some. This is as you say, you've got your own group where you can communicate and you can talk and you share ideas, and you know, so I think it's yeah, I think hearing you guys, it gives me like even a more like passion for the space in like what I'm doing, what we're doing, and just the responsibility to make sure, yeah, we're getting it right for you. You know, we don't want no bad reviews around it.
Well, you know,
I
like,
feel
you know what they
pressured.
say, you know,
Yeah,
what is it? Even bad press is good press.
of course. Yeah, of course.
Because it brings something to light. So I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever done a bad review, but you know, I will be pretty critical on ones that I didn't love, but
Yeah.
there's reasons for it. Like, I'll never blame the
Yeah.
actor. Sometimes it's the content. Sometimes it's the lighting, the sound. I mean, I pick on quite a few things.
Yeah, yeah, of course. And I suppose for us as like creative in here, I don't think there's many areas of our industry where we have that kind of, you know, like we can do I can be casting commercials all day, but I'm, you know, there might be a bit of like good press, bad press, what it might be, but I don't have like this massive fan base or you know, so it's like it's really interesting, I think, for us as creatives as well, because I don't think, apart from like our soap operas and stuff like that we have here, that the audience and the fan base are quite the same. The passion and stuff is there. Other than that, we kind of create and move on to another thing, right? So it's really interesting knowing that we have that kind of responsibility to be a part of something that's so huge to people.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's only getting bigger.
And it's getting bigger, 100%.
It's only getting bigger, because I mean, I think about how many people are on Instagram, Facebook, and like TikTok and Threads, and then think how many people don't have social media.
Yes. Yeah.
Because when you're talking about the millions of views, you know what I mean? 30 million views. No, all those 30 million people aren't on social media.
Yeah.
They got it, you know, from another way, or they got it, you know. It baffles me sometimes, the numbers that I see on some of the verticals. I'm like,
Yeah.
like you said, 30 million.
Yeah. Yeah. And also the different audiences, like it can vary. Like we were somewhere the other day, I think, and somebody came up to me, an older gentleman, and he was like, you know, my mum is obsessed, like she loves this, and I think she was in her 80s, and she's like, you know, he's like, she loves, and I was like, wow, like, you know, it just goes from like the young to the old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I find.
It really does.
And everyone has reasons for watching.
Yeah.
No, I definitely think in the next 12 months it's gonna expand and evolve and change. New players are going to come into it, and they're going to add, you know, stuff to the table. It's going to evolve and change, but I do think it's definitely a format that's there to stay. 100%. Yeah, definitely. Having said that, I'm actually in delivery on a project right now, so I am going to have to love you and leave you, if that's okay, because I need to jump on a call. Because I'm delivering literally tonight. I can't say which project it's for. It is a micro drama. So yeah, I do need to go. But thank you so much for having me on the call. It's been an honor to talk to both, and looking forward to you know, speaking further, and looking forward to speaking on Instagram, and to putting more projects on that you can review and going from there. So,
thanks for reaching out.
Yeah, of course. No, it's been a pleasure. Yeah, anyone that's watching, at Onset Octopus Instagram, and see you soon.
See you soon, Ben.
Bye. Bye.
Ben.
He's in demand. Oh, bless him.
That's good.
Yeah, no, it is.
That means we've got more content coming out.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, do you have any other questions for us? I can't think of anything else. I don't know if Dolly has any other questions.
No, it would be more of the same, just talking about different projects. Or did you say which one your favorite was? You didn't.
Oh, she didn't.
I don't really have a favorite. I suppose I always come from a different angle on this with casting, because I want them all to be favorites. Like I suppose because each project for me is like, I want that to do well. I want to pick the cast. I suppose I don't really look. I mean, the Pride and Prejudice was great because it was kind of the first I don't know, like the period drama one that had been done in the UK, and Pride and Prejudice here, and like it's just such a well-known novel as well. Like, so I really kind of enjoyed casting that one. But I don't actually have a favorite. I'm like, I can't, because then I feel bad to all the actors that I'm like, because I don't want to do that. I love them all. Like, yeah, I can't say I have a favorite.
That's why I don't pick a favorite actor or favorite actress. Like, it's not fair.
No, it's not fair. No. I mean, from you guys, like, are there like, I get asked this quite often as well. Like, are there like themes and stories that you would love to see, or things that haven't been done, like genres that, or do you think like don't fix something that's not broken? Yeah. Do you know what? Because I know, like, with this involvement, I feel like everybody's going to come with so many different ideas, but if the kind of genres are working and they're what people are loving to see, I mean, is there things that you would want to see done differently or more of?
I would really, I think I talk about this in every interview that I do, which is great because it's getting out there. Like a pure comedy, because I know, especially like when in LA and when, you know, just on browsing, you know, Instagram, most of the fan base, not all of it, but most of it is females.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, pure comedies or like more horrors would bring in the male fan base.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, interesting. Okay.
I think there's two schools of thought there, because what started vertical dramas really was the novella watcher, the soap opera watcher, that now has changed to their phone and episode based, and they'll either take the time and play ads or buy coins, and they're used to their tropes, they're used to their stories. They don't necessarily, that fan does not want the space to evolve. They like folks, they like their secret CEO, they love that part of it. And those are going to be your core base. But then there's apps that are coming out that have like Gamma Time has the writer from CSI writing. I think that there's room for that type of platform to bring in the other type of fan, and then it crosses. You know what I mean? I think that part of it, they don't want anything to change. To change. And then there's the platforms that are willing to take that step to get the new fans. And the hope is that it blends. I think I've gotten my husband to watch 2 verticals total. But he has sat behind me, and he, you know, every once in a while he'll be like, I can't even believe you're watching this. You know, and you get the reaction, and you're like, but some of them are really good. And he won't take the time. But I know that there are certain ones that I've seen that he would be into. Panel, you know, if I knew that there was a specific time that I can just say, sit down and watch this. You know, tomorrow we're gonna sit and watch 6 hours of Stranger Things. You know what I mean? If you're willing to do that, why not spend an hour and a half on a vertical drama? I think it's just a matter of the content, but I do think that there's 2 schools of thought there, because you don't want to lose
what's already working very well.
Already working.
Yeah. Interesting. So yeah, watch this space. We'll keep you updated.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. Lovely meeting you guys. And enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Thank you for having me along.